The Ethiopian Bible is wrapped in layers of intrigue and secrecy. Imagine an ancient book, one of the oldest and most controversial, hidden from the world. This book holds mysteries that even the land of Ethiopia, a place steeped in ancient history and legends, cannot fully reveal. But today, we delve into the enigma of why this ancient text was banned. Ethiopia, a country with a rich tapestry of history, is the only African nation that was never colonized. Its heritage stretches back to the very dawn of civilization. The Ethiopians trace their lineage to Ham, Noah's son, a claim supported by Jewish traditions. But this isn't just about Ethiopia's fascinating history, it's about a book that predates many of the scriptures known to the world. The Ethiopian Bible, an ancient manuscript, holds 88 books, far more than the 66 found in the King James Version. These texts include Old Testament writings, New Testament scrolls, and other scriptures unseen by the rest of the Christian world. Astonishingly, these texts existed in Ethiopia long before Christianity officially arrived in the 4th century. Christianity wasn't something brought to Ethiopia by missionaries. It was already ingrained in their culture. By the time the rest of the world was grappling with religious shifts, Ethiopia had already embraced Christianity. In the 6th century, the Egyptian monk and historian Cosmas Indicopleustes documented Ethiopia as a Christian nation. He wrote about the country's rulers, who opened their borders to Christian refugees fleeing persecution. For over 3,500 years, certain Ethiopian tribes have worshipped the Christian God. This makes the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, known locally as Tawadu, arguably the oldest organized Christian body in the world. It challenges the widely held belief that the Catholic Church holds this title. In 2010, an early illustrated Christian book was discovered in a mountain monastery in Ethiopia. Written in Ge'ez, an ancient Ethiopian language, this book is a treasure trove of biblical history. The Kebra Nagast, Ethiopia's holy book, tells of the Queen of Sheba's journey to Jerusalem in the 12th century BC. She met King Solomon, and their union produced a son, Menelik, who became Ethiopia's first emperor. Genetic studies in 2012 suggest that the people from Egypt, Israel, or Syria may have mixed with Ethiopians around 3,000 years ago, supporting the narrative of Sheba's journey. Despite its historical significance, the Ethiopian Bible is not part of the accepted biblical canon. Most people, even devout Christians, are unaware of its existence. So why was this ancient manuscript hidden away? To understand this, we need to travel back to the early days of Christianity. The Bible we know today wasn't always this unified book. In its infancy, there were many versions and interpretations. The original texts were written in Hebrew and later translated into other languages. St. Jerome's translation into Latin in the 4th century, known as the Vulgate, became the principal version. It contained 27 New Testament books and 39 Old Testament books, forming what was known as the Hebrew Bible. In the 1st century, numerous texts about Jesus' life and teachings were written. Many of these were like fan fiction, fanciful stories not based on reality. With no internet to debunk these tales, fake books flourished, misleading many. Early Christian leaders were concerned about the spread of these false texts. To bring order, they convened at the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD and the First Council of Constantinople in 381 AD. They decided which books would be included in the New Testament. A book had to be written by one of Jesus' followers or someone who had seen him teach, be composed in the 1st century, and align with the rest of the Bible. The Ethiopian Bible, despite its authenticity and deep roots, did not make the cut. The reasons are complex, involving theological, political, and historical factors. Early church leaders aimed to create a unified doctrine, and texts that diverged from this were excluded. The Ethiopian Bible, with its unique content and origins, posed a challenge to this unity. But there's more. The Ethiopian Bible's exclusion was not just a theological decision. It was deeply influenced by the political power struggles of the early church. So why was the Ethiopian Bible banned? The answer lies in the murky waters of early Christian politics and the quest for a unified religious doctrine. This ancient book remains a hidden gem, a piece of history that continues to captivate and mystify scholars and believers alike. Fast forward to the 17th century, during the reign of King James I of England. The King James Bible, one of the most influential versions of the Holy Bible, was about to be born. But its creation also marked the exclusion of many ancient texts, including those from the Ethiopian Bible. King James faced a dilemma. Despite the Vulgate being the principal Bible for 500 years, there were still numerous versions and accounts floating around. This proliferation of texts worried the king. He was concerned about the religious differences these various versions could sow among his subjects. Moreover, he wanted a Bible that would consolidate his power and bring unity to his kingdom. To address these concerns, King James commissioned 47 scholars to undertake a monumental task: to create a new, definitive version of the Bible. These scholars, divided into 6 groups, worked tirelessly for 7 years, each group focusing on different sections of the Scriptures. They operated under strict rules designed to eliminate bias and ensure that the new Bible stayed true to the original languages. These scholars employed various tools, including previous translations and the original Hebrew and Greek texts. Their mission was to produce a Bible that was as scientifically accurate as possible. Despite being scattered across different locations, the scholars' work showed remarkable consistency, which the priests and King James took as divine guidance. In 1611, the King James Bible was published. Thanks to advances in printing technology, it became one of the most accessible Bible versions ever. This new Bible included 39 books in the Old Testament and 27 in the New Testament, mirroring the structure of the Vulgate. However, this process also meant excluding several books found in the Ethiopian Bible. The Ethiopian Bible retained all scripture, including texts that were considered apocryphal or non-canonical by the standards of the time. Why was the Ethiopian Bible rejected? To understand this, we need to delve deeper into the concept of pseudo-epigraphs. Pseudo-epigraphs are works falsely attributed to a notable author or figure from the past. Many texts in the Ethiopian Bible were labeled as such. Early church leaders deemed these books non-canonical, believing they were not divinely inspired. The early church was cautious about these texts. They feared that including them would spread misinformation and dilute the true teachings of Christianity. Much like how a modern reader would be skeptical of a book claiming Kobe Bryant wasn't a great athlete, early Christians were wary of texts that seemed inconsistent with established doctrine. Moreover, the Ethiopian Bible itself has 2 canons: the broader canon, which includes 81 books, and the narrower canon, with 72 books. The broader canon contains texts like the Book of Enoch, the Jubilees, and the 3 books of the Maccabees. These texts, although significant, were viewed with suspicion by other Christian traditions. The narrower canon, established by Emperor Haile Selassie, was proclaimed as the official version of the Ethiopian Bible. This version excluded some of the books found in the broader canon, aiming for a more streamlined collection. The decision to have 2 canons further complicated the Ethiopian Bible's acceptance into mainstream Christianity. The broader canon has not been reprinted since the early 20th century, adding to its obscurity. The existence of 2 versions within the Ethiopian tradition itself created confusion and controversy, making it easier for other Christian denominations to dismiss it. The exclusion of the Ethiopian Bible from broader Christian canon was not just about theological differences. It was also a strategic move to create a unified doctrine that would strengthen the Church's authority and prevent the spread of divergent beliefs. The Ethiopian Bible offers a unique glimpse into the evolution of biblical texts. Contrary to the common perception of the Bible as a single, unchanging book, it's actually a collection of writings that have been edited, translated, and reinterpreted over centuries. The Ethiopian Bible's rich tapestry of texts challenges us to reconsider the history of Christianity and the forces that shaped its scriptures. Different religious groups, including those widely accepted, have a history of including or excluding texts based on various theological or personal grounds. The Bible we recognize today was mostly written in the 4th and 5th centuries AD. By then, Christianity in Ethiopia had already begun to diverge from Christianity in Europe and the Mediterranean. This divergence has only grown over time. The Ethiopian Bible shares many similarities with the Catholic and Orthodox Bibles, including a few extra Old Testament books probably written in the last few centuries BC. These additional texts provide a deeper insight into the history and structure of the Ethiopian Church. One of the reasons the Ethiopian Bible has remained obscure is its original language, Ge'ez. This ancient language makes the text difficult to access for non-speakers. The lack of widespread translations and the unique practices of the Ethiopian Church have further contributed to its relative obscurity outside of Ethiopia. The third reason is more controversial: politics. During the early days of Christianity, the Roman emperor was more concerned with power than spiritual growth. Any scrolls that didn't align with their preferred narrative were left out. The Bishop of Rome even instructed priests to destroy non-canonical scrolls. However, some priests hid these scrolls in vats near the Dead Sea, discovered in the 1940s. These factors explain the differences between the Ethiopian Bible and other versions. One aims to present a complete version of the Bible, while the other reflects what certain authorities deemed appropriate. In recent years, interest in the Ethiopian Bible has surged. Scholars and believers alike are eager to uncover its secrets and the unique truths it holds. Ethiopian churches are translating it into more languages and conducting academic studies to make it more accessible. It's incredible that this Bible has survived for so long, especially after Ethiopia was attacked by Muslims and Italy, and a fire in the 1930s destroyed the church housing the Bible. Its survival adds to the book's mystique. The Ethiopian Bible is more than an alternative scripture. It is a vital part of Ethiopia's religious and cultural heritage. It offers deep insights into the ancient traditions and theological concepts of one of the oldest Christian communities in the world. With 88 books not found in the traditional canon of 66 books, it provides a unique perspective on global Christianity. Despite its controversial status and historical obscurity, the Ethiopian Bible appeals to theologians, historians, and believers worldwide. As more translations become available, this ancient text will bring significant changes to our understanding of Christian history. If you found this journey into the Ethiopian Bible fascinating, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on notifications to stay updated with more intriguing content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.